Hi everybody, Julia Mark here from RVLove.com, checking in with our 9-month update. We've been living, working and travelling on the road now in our motorhome for 9 months, and we're here to give a recap on the big news that's happened in the last 3 months since our 6-month video which we posted in December. So
yeah, we're excited to film this video. We're in Ghost Ranch in New Mexico. It's about an hour from Santa Fe. Thought we were out just for a little hike, and we thought, hey, how fun would it be to go do a little 9-month recap. So started off in January when we had flown home to Colorado to visit family and friends. Had a really wonderful time over the holidays, and then when we flew back to Palm Springs where our coach was, it was a really big moment for us because we both walked into the coach and at the same time thought to ourselves, oh, it's so good to be home.
yeah, it was a real aha moment, I know, for me, and then as we talked about it for you as well, is just that real, not only because it had been a busy time back, Christmas and New Year's always a busy time for everybody, and it was awesome to see everybody that we love so much, but to get back to our coach, and you know, here we were in Palm Springs, California, where it had been parked and in storage while we were away, just to really feel like it's good to be home with all of our things around us. And it was that moment where we realized this isn't just a vacation or a holiday. This isn't just a trip we're taking. This is our life now. And so I think as that really sunk in for both of us, it really just opened up the conversation for, you know, a lot bigger talk about, well, what's next?
Yeah, and you know, realizing that this is going to be a long-term thing for us, that we love the lifestyle and we love how it works for us, is that we need to start making decisions that will be good for us long-term. You know, we had started off with having a family member do our mail because we weren't sure, but now that we know we want to do this and to do it long-term, we decided we need to figure out a more permanent mail solution. And when we started having that mail solution, it actually opened up even bigger conversations and deciding, you know, what's going to work best for car registrations and who's really favorable for people who live the mobile lifestyle.
Because even though we travel full-time and our address is changing regularly every 1, 2 or 3 weeks, you still legally have to have a domicile. You must be legally attached to a state for obviously taxation purposes and for driver's license purposes. So given that Colorado was becoming less and less a place that we were going to be permanently and more a place that we would visit on our travels, we needed to look at somewhere that was going to provide us with a more efficient long-term solution.
Yeah, and so we looked at the top 3 states that are the most known to be best for people who live mobile, and those are Florida, South Dakota, and Texas. And so we started to do our research on which ones might be the best for us.
There are pros and cons to every state, so you really need to look into what your specific situation is to see what's going to be a best fit for you. But you know, we looked at all of the pros and cons of every single state, and then we made a decision.
And drum roll.
We're Texans now.
That's right, y'all. We're Texas now.
Yeehaw!
So there were a number of reasons why Texas made the most sense for us, and you know, among them, you know, I just being from Colorado my whole life, Texas feels more like the West, and feels more like home for me. The Escapees organization, which is a really top-notch organization for mail forwarding and domicile, making things easy for us. And my place of employment is in Texas, the company I work for. And the icing on the cake is Texas doesn't have any state income tax, which equates to an immediate 5% raise just by doing the paperwork. So that's a nice little bonus.
You can do more shopping.
Yeah, right. More money to have bigger and better experiences. Talking of experiences, we had a really amazing experience at the Grand Canyon. It's been on a bucket list for both of us, and we're able to go there in my first helicopter ride. So
yeah, that was awesome. I mean, one of the 7 natural wonders of the world. You can absolutely see why, and photographs and video just really don't do it justice. Really, it's one of those places you just have to go there yourself and experience it at least once in your lifetime. Just do it.
Yeah, absolutely. A fun part of our trip to Grand Canyon was a little unexpected, another first for us, our first cold weather camping experience.
Right.
We had arrived in Williams, which is about an hour south of Grand Canyon, and we arrived there with 8 inches of snow. And coming from the desert, it was quite a shock to the system. And they had to plow our site for us to pull in, and and then they had another 8 inches of snow the following day.
So we made a snowman. And that is one of the last things we expected to be doing in Arizona in I think it was late February.
Our first ever boondocking experience, beyond just a single night. So we had a 9-day experience with that, and Julie did a beautiful job putting it together, a 4-part series on that. You can see that in the blog. And
it was just us and the coach in the wild desert.
Yeah, just being
Arizona.
Yeah, being self-sufficient, just on our own. You know, no water hookup, no electrical hookup, completely off the grid.
And we don't have solar, so
yeah, no solar. Our coach is just how it was from the factory, and we just made it work for us, and it worked out really well. You can read more about it in the blog.
One of the other cool things that happened when we were out boondocking in the desert is we found a place just near Yuma, and as we were setting up camp, there were hardly any other rigs around, but there was one shiny silver one in the distance, and we saw this couple come out of the rig and go for a walk by ours, and as they walked by we thought, they look familiar. And then they turned around and came over to introduce themselves and say hi to us. And who was it? None other than Chris and Cherie from Technomadia.com. And if you're watching this, there's probably a very high chance you know of Chris and Cherie and have seen their videos too. If you don't, go check them out at Technomadia. But it was their ebook on how to have mobile internet on the road. That was the first ebook that we bought when we first started our research on this like a year ago. So that was really, really cool to meet them in person and get to hang out, have a couple of happy hours. We did a tour of their coach, they did a tour of ours, and they did an interview of us for the Rambling series, so hopefully that's coming up sometime in the next couple of months when they get caught up on their workload. So that was a lot of fun.
It is fun. It's fun for me to think of being in that series because I've watched almost all of those myself, and but amazing to be out in the middle of the desert, in the middle of nowhere. I mean, and your very nearest coach, completely coincidentally, is someone you know.
Yeah, so that was really very fun. Serendipity in the desert. Yeah.
You probably noticed we had to change where we were because we realized we lost the light at the last location. But yeah, picking up where we were talking about where we've been the last few months.
Right.
So
even though we had a really good experience boondocking, we were really glad to get back to a campground with hookups and electricity and water and a swimming pool and a hot tub, and yeah, that being able to run our air conditioner as much as we wanted.
Without running a generator, which was nice to not have to listen to the hum of the generator. But we still had a great time boondocking. It was really great experiences, and the serenity of being out in the middle of nowhere and watching some beautiful desert sunsets.
For our boondocking adventure, we spent a few nights around the Yuma area. We went to Quartzsite for a couple of nights, which many of you may know, but it's famous for being the largest gathering of RVers, boondockers in the world. Followed up by a couple of days at Lake Havasu, which Mark nicknames Lake Havoc Sioux because we had a little bit of a problem there. But you will read about that in part 4 of our boondocking adventure series on the blog.
Yeah.
And Quartzsite, even though we were just there for a short time, we did miss the big RV show, but I did get to meet Paul from the Naked Man's Bookstore and did an interview with him. So that was definitely interesting and a little piece of history there, so you can check out the video on that one.
Also part of that boondocking, we also had a little trip down into Mexico, into Los Algodones, and that's where I had a little teeth cleaning. We had heard so much about it from so many other RVers, and so we decided we just had to go check it out for ourselves. And so, having great teeth, I didn't need anything else besides cleaning, but it was still really fun. I was very impressed with the technology and how well done everything is down there. It's do your research before you go though, because there's some that I would not be as excited about.
I know what a lot of you are probably sitting there thinking, you guys are crazy, and you know, to each their own, but we did do a ton of research before we did decide to go and do this, and then we decided we felt comfortable enough to try it for ourselves. Again, you know, we went into a lot of detail in the blog post sharing our experience about that, so you can go check that out. Southern California,
Yep.
where we spent a few weeks in the San Diego area, which was beautiful. Loved that area. Some of our favorite places were down at La Jolla, where they have the seals on the beach, and just beautiful.
Oh yeah,
beautiful
Coronado
area.
Island was really beautiful too.
Loved Coronado Island, and we also got to catch up with our friends Robin and Jeremy, who we met in Monterey through RVLove. So we caught up with them on Coronado Island for some sunset drinks. That was a lot of fun.
Yep. That was great.
We drove along some of Route 66 through Seligman, which is a cool little town and apparently part of the inspiration for the movie Cars,
Yep.
which was a really interesting piece of history. And one of the shop owners there, Angel, that we met in one of the famous shops on the street there, was actually one of the people I interviewed in researching that film, and he's in their special features section on the DVD. So that was really cool to meet him and see how he was really a very big part of maintaining the Route 66 history after they'd closed it and opened the Interstate 40. So that was a really, I think, a 20-year journey of getting Route 66 back on the map, so to speak, at least from a tourist perspective, and preserve that history.
Had a really fun little experience. Decided to go stand on the corner in Winslow, Arizona. It was quite a fine sight to see.
It was.
Yeah, there was even a girl in a flatbed Ford that slowed down to take a look at us.
I got jealous. Look at me!
But,
we were playing Eagles songs all the
fun.
way. You have to play Eagles, Best of the Eagles. It's totally mandatory. Take it easy, and you must sing loudly at the top of your voice. That is just something you have to do.
But that's a Route 66 stop that's absolutely worth the stop. There's another Route 66 stop we made, seeing Cadillac Ranch, that you could probably take or leave compared to the Winslow.
You can take a spray can and spray paint the Cadillacs yourself. We didn't know that. We just thought they were pieces of art in the desert, but no, they've basically just been graffitied over, which they are fine with. And so take your spray can, paint some art, take a photo of it, because it won't be there much longer. Someone else is about to come and spray right back over it.
Yeah,
again.
the paint was over an inch thick, so it's not like you're the only one. We had a wonderful stay in Sedona. Absolutely loved that area. It's something magical about it. Even after going to the Grand Canyon the week before, Sedona still has some majestic beauty. Wonderful hiking, biking, great energy in the community. Loved it there. We could have definitely loved to stay longer than 2 weeks there. Like that.
Go away, bugs. There's bugs in front of our camera.
All right, now they're good.
We also want to say thank you to everyone who has subscribed to our YouTube channel and followed us on the blog and social media, because that, after the last video that we did, our 6-month video in December, it just kind of exploded, which was really fun for us, people engaging and interacting with us on our Facebook page and Instagram and Twitter and comments on YouTube. So we really love that. So, you know, tell us what you think down in the comments below.
That's been really fun, getting a lot of emails and just to know that, you know, people are really valuing with the content that we're sending out there, and that it's helping them create a life that they're excited about. So, and thanks to everyone who we've met along the road. We've met so many wonderful people in these last few months, and that's really been one of the biggest joys of this adventure, is that just meet so many great people. And so to those of you who are new, you know, welcome, and to those of you who've been with us a while, then thank you.
Thanks for watching, and we will catch you next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.